up here. And this is the work that we'll be doing for the next couple of days, and we believe that as we do that, it will be able to assist us. From the technical point of view, of course, this particular reservoir also, it's in the list of those reservoirs that there will be some work happening, and that work we are aiming to start, or we are appointing contractor towards end of November. It is part of those reservoirs that there will be work happening around refurbishment of the reservoir. And as we get to that point, we'll be updating the residents around how we are going to be making sure that they still get continuity of supply when the reservoir has been put off service for the work that needs to happen. Thank you very much.
But no, nothing much from my side. I think the executive mayor once has spoken. We can't reiterate his views. I think we will try by all means, as he has indicated earlier on, that the intervention that we have done around Coronation, Westbury site, is bearing fruit. So the very same technique will be applied this site. So probably I think in a week or so, we'll be updating this public by Friday in terms of the work that has been happening here. But obviously in a couple of, maybe let's say next week or so, they will then begin to see some positiveness around what our interventions. Once the levels from rainwater side are above 50%, then they'll also be able to then assist us on this side. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we will take questions. Welcome, Councillor. We call him Daroja in council. Welcome, Councillor Roger. He's a councillor in this area. What's 66?
Ward 66.
Ward 66, yeah. Can we take questions from yourselves? No,
Zola. He's from Africa.
Thank you very much. Executive Mayor, I just wanted to ask, the relevant person will respond to this one. I mean, part of the reasons why we are here and some people don't have access to water is, the issue of illegal connections. And we have had disconnections being done by Joburg Water the last couple of weeks. But is that yielding, positive results? Are you winning this battle of, illegal connections? Because I understand that, some of the great contributors to the issues of water that we have is people that are not paying, right? Leading to the city not being able to generate enough revenue, right? To be able to obviously pay for what needs to be paid for. Well, what's happening with the issue of illegal connection? What is a new strategy or different strategy that will be used to fight this issue?
Okay, we can take another question.
Thank you, Mayor. It's Karinda from the Kayakan News team. 2 questions, please. Just last week in Parliament, the DG of the Department of Water and Sanitation spoke about issues of funding between Joburg Water and the city, saying that 4 billion rand was taken out from Johannesburg Water for the city's, administration financial needs. Can you provide clarity on why that happened and how the money would be returned? That's the DG statement. And secondly, there have been allegations of organized crime in the water provision sector, allegations that the owners of the water tanker companies are involved perhaps in collusion with the city. Can you provide transparency with regards to who owns or who's behind the contractors regarding water tankers and other private wells?
Take follow-up questions. You don't want us to take follow-up questions.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have to thank Mr. Nico for working well with me in regards to the water issue, and they are struggling. But I must say to you, MMC, you have been nowhere with this water crisis. You don't talk to councillors, you don't talk to the communities. You are letting my community down, and that is unacceptable. Mr. Mayor, you choose the MMCs, they chose the job, make sure that they do their jobs. If there's no water, they need to approach the communities, warn the communities, talk to us, and make my community feel secure. He's failing you. Thank you.
Executive Mayor, thank you. Water Crisis Committee, thank you for agreeing to the public meeting. We are already organizing, right? And we're looking forward to that on Friday. We need you to deal with some issues in the public space. For example, we have been told from some quarters that you're moving water from here to address issues in Coronation. And I think the misinformation and all of these things doesn't help us to address the issues that we are facing. And we need you to come with answers to all of these things on Friday so that we engage in a very transparent and open discussions with people in our area. And they're already confirming and they're looking forward to meeting with you on Friday. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thanks. Let's attempt to...
We'll come back to you.
No. It's a political party that was not dealing with parties, we're dealing with journalists. Yes, unless he came as a councillor, but he's a political party today. So unless he goes and gets a jacket, yeah, he knows the protocol. Unless all parties must come here in their regalia.
With all due respect, Mayor, you didn't want, this is my ward, you didn't phone me, and I had another meeting.
No. Then put on
and this is a crisis that's been going on for weeks, if not months.
Just put on a jacket.
You could have at least had the decency
just put
to at least inform the councillors, the public representatives who have to live with this crisis every day.
No. That's just.
If you wanted a public meeting, then you should have at least picked up the phone and told us.
Allow the councillor to wear a jacket. Then we can allow him to engage in the conference because now he's a political party. So we'll ignore that. Okay. You want to concentrate on him or you want to concentrate on the content?
No, they're here for you, Executive Mayor.
So that we are not distracted by political parties. We have to try and ensure that we remove politics from the water crisis. It's not about the political parties here, it's about our ability to respond to the challenge that we have currently. And as questions asked by the community, illegal connections have been a big problem in the city of Johannesburg. And we try from time to time to cut off illegal connections. And I think to a large extent, the cut-offs do help us a lot in maintaining the water supply. All what we have agreed on even yesterday in our meeting with Jerry Water, we are going to have a meeting again with the Johannesburg Police Department with an intention to get them to be consistent in the program of cut-offs, because they will do it for 2 days, and once they withdraw from the area, the people will then reconnect again. So it requires consistency, and in fact it will help us a lot in terms of water demand, and it will also help us. So there's a lot that it will help in reducing the current problems that we have on water. So we hope that our discussions and program with the JMPD will yield particular results that we need. We have acquired 20 tankers ourselves as the Johannesburg Water, and an intention is to phase them in so that we can then get out of contracts with third parties. In that way, when there's necessary interventions, remember tankers are basically to be used as and when there's a particular problem of supply. Now we've got 20, which we're supposed actually to have launched them properly, but they are there, they are busy, they were there in coordination, they are also here. So there's an intervention that we are doing, and we hope that with our own capacity, it will also help us a lot to deal with all other issues that surround this issue of water tankers and the contractors and all sorts of things in that area. The issue about funding, you'd understand that the financial modeling of metros or of municipalities has been based largely on the surpluses of water and electricity, and of course the last source of funding of the municipality being your rates and taxes. So certainly we all know that the cities have to be funded through those surpluses, and the funding means that you cover all the costs of the city from those three sources of funding over and above equitable share and all others that we get. So yes, it's true that we have to use whatever that comes in into a central account to cover for all the costs of the city. But with the entities reform or service entities reforms that we're doing with National Treasury. The intention, therefore, is to try to ensure that the surpluses that comes out of the water and electricity were able to ring-fence a certain percentage so that it can therefore be reinvested into the water infrastructure. But generally, it's all about how we manage the financing of municipalities, and I think we're changing the model so that we can reinvest into the infrastructure of water and electricity. And perhaps the other question is that in Coronationville, there was a question there. In Coronation, they do have water. What we are doing, it's a balancing act. At night, we close water. In the morning, we ensure that they get water. So it's an issue of demand. And we also have to request and make a call to our communities to try as much as possible to preserve water, especially in areas where they've got water, to use it sparingly. Those areas that are battling to get their levels high, we can be able to provide and increase the levels in their water reservoirs. The MMC, try as much as you can to talk to the councillor directly. The councillor is raising a concern. You are noted, Daroja, and the councillor will talk to you directly. And we'll also engage with yourselves in terms of convening the public meeting. But we are coming on Friday to meet with the public, and you'll also do your level best to inform members of the public that the executive mayor is coming. However, the mayor does not require permission from anyone to go to any of the wards in the city of Johannesburg. He's the executive mayor of Johannesburg, and I can go anywhere. It's just courtesy, and the concern raised by the councillor that courtesy, just to inform him that I am coming, and I will do so as I'm saying I'm coming on Friday as courtesy to inform members of the public who will be coming to address their concerns. We are on top of this problem. We are going to find solutions on the water issue in Johannesburg, and we'll continue to call on our communities. One, we're going to be very hard on illegal connection. It's unacceptable. It's contributing to the challenges of the water problems that we have in currently. We are also going to be unveiling our master plan in terms of infrastructure refurbishment, which also includes pipe replacements, so that we can deal with the leaks. We have agreed last night also with the Minister of Water that Johannesburg will have a program on dealing with leaks and get support from provincial government so that we can deal with the water leaks. In that way, we'll reduce our water losses quite significantly as we deal with the pipe replacements and deal with water leaks. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any other thing technically, would be happy to give over to the CEO to give a much better perspective. Yes, there's a problem, and all of us must work together with communities. It's very difficult if you don't have water. So we must make sure that our communities do have access to water. Is there any other question? Over to you, Kat.
Sure.
The heat is killing us.
Yeah, can you just introduce yourself?
Written from Netwerk 24. Just two questions from my side. The minister indicated, Mayor, that there is a problem with water mafias. Is that a problem in Johannesburg and affect your progress? And just in terms of infrastructure development, is it a matter of fixing the current infrastructure, or is it a matter of building new infrastructure? Thank you.
There's another question. Morning, Mr. Mayor. Zanele Mchi from Our City News. Last week we heard the DG tell the Portfolio Committee that 4 billion rand worth of funds have been swept from the Joburg water. Money used for?
Just a follow-up, Mr. Mayor, my colleague's question, and again on the water tankers, is on the contractors who are currently providing water tankers, is there a means for the city to provide transparency with regards to who those contractors are, considering the allegations countrywide? Thank you.
On the contractors, we have explained this matter over and over. We did go through a procurement process, a bidder won, and the bidder was appointed, and the matter is also in court because other bidders went to court. I'm not sure if the court process has been concluded, not as yet, but they were appointed, and it's the court to remember, whilst there's a court matter, it doesn't mean that they cannot provide the service until the court has made the determination. And that is why we took a view that we will now start procuring our own, so that it's an in-house service. So we now have 20 tankers that are city-owned, and will then be providing water. There's no real water mafias in Johannesburg, as you know, that it's at a very small scale, this water issue, and we're managing it properly without any problems. We'll increase the 20 on every financial year. We'll invest in increasing the 20. But you don't want to have more water tankers. You want to refurbish your infrastructure so that people can have access without having to go the route of water tankers. So we are doing that in that area. Zanele, because it's you who had answered the question, the financial modeling of municipalities have been, when we established local government, the financing of municipalities was based on the assumptions that you will then use your water surpluses from water and electricity, and of course raise and taxes in an attempt to finance the municipalities. Metros, for example, money in our budget is what we raise ourselves. And we have to pay salaries, we have to maintain parks, we have to maintain the entire infrastructure, roads, signals, from all the money that we have. So it's only now that we are starting through a process of we call service entities reforms, which we are doing with National Treasury, with an intention to start ring-fencing certain percentages of the surpluses of water and electricity into the infrastructure, so that we are not faced with this type of challenges into the future. But we still have to pay salaries, we still have to pay for traffic signals, we still have to pay for medicines and in the clinics and all sorts of things. So it's a balancing act, unfortunately, in terms of how we spend our budget.
Will the money be repaid, the 4 billion?
Paid.
Put back? They say it's missing and not put back.
No, it's not missing.
It's not missing.
It's not missing.
Okay.
It's money that has to be used for the entire city of Johannesburg. Okay, let me, because this requires a discussion separately. Understanding financing of municipalities, especially metros. Now, once we can go through that explanation, you'd understand that when we started local government, especially metros, we said metros will have the capacity to finance themselves. We don't get much from National Treasury or national government. I think in terms of our equitable share, we basically get around 7 to 9 billion annually. The rest of the money, which is about 89 billion, you subtract in simple terms 9 billion, it means 80 billion of it, we must raise it ourselves. And that money must cater for the entire city. But we have taken a view with National Treasury that we must start ring-fencing money of entities so that we can reinvest into the infrastructure. So there's a service entities reform program that we are doing with National Treasury. I think by next year, towards the end of the financial year, we'll have a sense and finalize that program, and we'll start funding entities differently. Right now, I think Joburg Water, we give it about an allocation of just under 2 billion. 1.7 that was allocated to Joburg Water this year in this financial year. So, but there are certain capital projects that we continue to work with Joburg Water and raise money into the market. We have raised about 500 million currently just to focus on refurbishment of the 24 reservoirs. We've got 45 reservoirs that are no longer in good health, and we have raised money to that effect from the market. Which one? There's two issues there. One, it's about dealing with the backlog, which is the old infrastructure which requires to be refurbished. And of course, you must then continue to build new. You know that in Brixton, we are building a new reservoir. We are building a big reservoir in Tower there, which will have about a capacity of about 24 to 25 megaliters. Is it megaliters in that area? It's a new infrastructure. I think in Soweto we are refurbishing about 3 reservoirs. We are spending money there, so you'll find that it's a mix of current and new that we must continue to fund. In the informal settlements now, we have started in a joint program with the Vets University, where we are also doing boreholes to ease the pressure on our infrastructure. So we are doing boreholes so that we deal with the issues as raised of illegal connection. That is why we are doing the boreholes in the informal settlement. So basically that is where we are, and we are very much concerned, especially for the residents in this area. It can't be correct that they go for days without water. We have to make sure that we resolve this problem so that residents can have water. We are now getting into the summer periods. The demand is going to be high. Will call on our people to avoid filling up their swimming pools, irrigating and watering their gardens. If they want to do so, rather do it in the evening, then you can water your garden so that it doesn't consume a lot of water and you don't waste water. Avoid washing your cars with clean water. Find other alternatives so that we can reduce the demand around water. We have to spare it. We're already above, way above what Rand Water has apportioned for Johannesburg. We're way above, so we need to manage our water demand. But we're also alive to the fact that the population in Johannesburg is increasing. We are now sitting at about 5.8 million people. So we need to also try and find better ways of how we increase supply and how we manage, in fact, better the supply of water to our residents, especially clean water. And we are also affected by bursting pipes regularly, where we lose a lot of clean water, and that is why we are focusing on a pipe replacement. Bulk of our pipes is what we call asbestos. It's not easy to repair. So once it bursts, it means we must replace. We are also doing a pressure valve replacement, which is a good program and is going to help us to manage demand and manage it better. So we're on top of the situation, and our teams are working around the clock to ensure that there's proper water supply to our communities. And thank you very much.
Members of the media, any follow-up questions? The executive mayor will engage with the councillor after the briefing. So this was...
We all want to hear it.
No, you'll engage the mayor after the briefing. This is a media briefing.
I'm a stakeholder.
Yes, sir.